Okay. First thing, I'm Andy Thorogood. I represent Mac Solutions, which is a UK company. We have an office in the UK and in Paris. We're representing MDT of Atlanta in the European market with Autosave and Autosave for System Platform. Autosave for System Platform, we've abbreviated to A for SP because Autosave for System Platform is a mouthful. Okay, so MDT Software. MDT Software are claimed to be the inventors of change management. They've been doing it now for over 25 years. They originally developed this product for the Detroit car industry. The car industry was making lots of changes, was one of the first people to introduce networks, and they needed to take control of their software. The software was being changed by many people on many programming devices. Who's got the latest copy? You'll all know if you're into programming automation devices, you go to a device and it's got one increment of version that you don't have, and you have to find out who did the programming changes last time. It takes time. Okay. Solutions for the leading manufacturers. Yep, we've got some applications in just about every industry, whether it be putting carrots in boxes, whether it be baggage handling at Heathrow Airport, Charles de Gaulle, pharmaceutical companies, GSK. Every environment, everybody has the same management problems of their software. It's all about minimizing downtime, making you more efficient. MDT themselves are an independent company. They have to support as many devices as possible, whether it's Schneider, Wonderware, Siemens, Rockwell. It means that you can manage all your software on the plant regardless of device type. We're not tied into anybody. We have the broadest range of editor and device support. Why would you want to do this? Intellectual property. That means it's your software asset. The accountants can see a piece of plant, they can see a machine, and they can see value. But without the software to run it correctly, it's a piece of metal or scrap. And it's important. Obviously, Wonderware is software. It's critical that people realize the value of their software, and you have to protect it. Across your enterprise. So we provide systems to people with as little as one SCADA node, 3 or 4, 5 PLCs, especially in regulated environments, it's important. Or it could be like an application we're doing at the moment in Europe with Arla dairies. 50 of their dairies are rolling out the Autosave product. Now, that includes probably about up to 30 with System Platform. The rest don't have System Platform, but they probably have InTouch and other SCADAs. With the development of networks, wide area networks, it gives the opportunity for customers to not only have servers in each one of their factories, but also have a central server. So that central server can cover multiple factories. That means one of our applications we've done recently, a customer who makes heat exchangers. They've got a central server in Sweden, a factory in China, factory in Germany, factory in Slovakia, and all of those are linked on a very robust wide area network, which means their data centers in Sweden. So their safe storage is in Sweden, but the local storage and use is in factories around the world. It's about avoiding risk, regardless of the device type. Doesn't matter whether it's a PLC, HMI, full-blown SCADA, everything is protected. Recovering from hardware failures. Everybody has hardware failures. Hardware is getting more reliable. Mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, and unfortunately in the modern world, sabotage as well. There's always a disgruntled employee who wants to put a little time bomb in the software. What you need to be able to do is quickly recover from those problems. No one else, again, has our range of support. Okay, just a quick overview of what we do. There's more of these. Important here, in the Schneider range, the Wonderware products, different PLCs, all the way back. One of the things that MDT has been good at, because we've been doing it for 25 years, is we still support the legacy software. We can still look after your DOS programs. It's possible. So whether you're using robots, CNCs, PLCs, SCADA, we can protect them. It's also important to keep up to date. In your market, you'll know that Siemens is putting a lot of pressure for manufacturers to roll out the tier portal system. My experience is it's taking time, but it's there. We already have that product. As the manufacturers bring out the new softwares, we support them. Okay, why am I here today? Autosave for System Platform. This was a cooperation between MDT and Wonderware in the States. We've been supporting InTouch as a standalone application for many years. MDT and Wonderware got together. MDT is the market leader in change management. Wonderware is the market leader in SCADA. Ideal partnership. The module was developed so that it's become a Wonderware product, and this module is available from Wonderware, not from MDT distributors. What it does, it enhances the experience of development of system platform projects, but also ensures the safe operation. So at any time you can restore back. So we're comparing versions of objects, identifying the differences for you. It allows you to remove changes, see all the associations, and makes it easy and quickly to do a galaxy restoration to the exact point in time you want to go to. And you can see we're up to date. 2014 R2, that product is fully supported now. Again, it's that close cooperation between MDT and Wonderware. Why do you need it? It gives you an unparalleled change management solution, and this isn't around for any other SCADA product. It extends all the audit tracking and gives you significant extra value into what you're doing. This is important, obviously, for regulated industries, but everybody wants to know. Everybody wants the audit trail. Everybody wants to know who did what, where and when and why, and be able to restore back. It's not about finding the guilty who makes mistakes. It's protecting the innocent and keeping that plant running. Allows for greater experimentation. Sounds dangerous. But if you know that it's going to take you a long time to restore back to a point in time of an old galaxy, you're not probably going to be as little creative in the work you're doing. Well, what we can do is allow you to be more creative and do this quickly, because you know you can always go back to the exact point in time you want to. How does it work? Hopefully you're all familiar, your system platform users, of what we're talking about. The GR node and your IDE development studio, and obviously your deployed system. Autosave server, that sits on the network somewhere, and that is your repository of your Galaxy. All your different backups are there. It's the same server we use for our PLC systems as well. How do we do it? We install a small service on your GR node. In the latest version of Autosave, we can support multiple Galaxies on the same GR node. That small service on there allows us to immediately save back any changes you make in the IDE as soon as you press the save button back to our server. So you see, make a change, immediately back to the server. And the same applies whether you've got multiple development studios working. So anybody saving a change back, it's saved back in real time back to our server. That's why we can say with confidence, if you make a mistake, you can immediately revert back. Why is it important? Make a change in the standard way, we get the copy. But if you look on your Galaxy repository, you'll see revision 2 is slightly out of line. Oops. Let's go back there. Best demonstrations go wrong. Okay, so we've got revision 1 there. Revision 2, which should be sitting on the right there, you've lost revision 1 in your system. So revision 1 sat there, revision 2 sat there, this one would sit there in your Galaxy repository and you've lost that revision 1. Same applies again, you make another change. Revision 3 is going to sit in your Galaxy repository, but in our autosave system, you've got 1, 2, and 3, easily accessible to you. You can revert back at any time. One thing you'll notice, because it was a joint development, those users of System Platform will see, the autosave client looks very like the IDE client. This is intentional, so that anybody who's used to using IDE can use our client as well. Makes it simple. Okay, typical situation, may not be typical, but it allows us to demonstrate. You do an initial backup of the Galaxy. You've got 2-5 days design time, lots of people adding stuff to the system. You haven't done a Galaxy backup in the meantime because somebody's forgotten, possibly, the system in place. You get a hardware failure. You've lost 128 hours of design time. With autosave, you've lost nothing. If you have a failure at 12 noon on a Friday, you can go back to 11:59 on a Friday immediately. So, no downtime. When do you need it within the product? In every phase. As I've said, in the build phase, it gives you the full flexibility to be creative, to know that you can go back at any time. We recently installed the system at a customer who does lime kilns, and he said, this is going to make my life so much easier in the design stage. It's going to save him hours because he knows he can always revert back to the latest revision without having to do continuous Galaxy backups. In the operation, yeah, you know, you're in control. People make small changes. You know that if they make a mistake, you can go back. Anybody can revert back. And obviously in the maintenance cycle as well. Demonstration. I'm not going to give you a demonstration now because it's not time. 3 possibilities of demonstration. Come outside and see us on the booth we've got out there. We've got a live system running. Contact your Wonderware sales guy and we can arrange a webinar. Contact your Wonderware sales guy. It can be a visit. Depends how keen you are to get started with this product. Questions and answers. Any specific ones you want to ask now? Looking at the time, we should be okay. Ask us outside if you don't want to ask us now. Okay. The background of autosave, we come from PLCs and devices, including SCADA. We've always supported SCADA systems. In the old days, all we used to do was backup folders, so that the CSV files in InTouch. But these days, we're more sophisticated, and we can back up everything within the SCADA. We can give you comparisons between graphics. We can show you what the differences are between versions. To give you an idea of sort of typical scenarios in the PLC world of programming. Okay, we have our day in the life of the plant here. Well, it's actually a lunchtime in the life of the plant. And it's a Wonderware lunch, so it's a little bit longer and a little bit more pleasant than the average factory lunch. So everything's okay, and our guy says, right, it's time to go for my lunch. So what could possibly go wrong? Okay, if you allow people to make changes to devices on the plant, yep, you get our guy in his pickup truck, allowed on the plant, he makes a change and goes. You've got no record of that until this integrator or guy you allow on site perfectly legitimately to give you a copy of that code. He's not doing it through any system, he's just going to say, okay, here's the latest copy, but that may be the end of the day, it may be the end of the week, it may be the end of the month. And during that time, you do not have a record of that source code. More and more now, your end users will know that your machine suppliers and system integrators are demanding the remote connectivity to give them the opportunity to give you that service level that you want. Now that means they can be making changes, certainly during commissioning, 24 hours a day, and you're completely out of control of the code at that time until they give you the latest copy. Second scenario, you've got a guy, absolutely first-class engineer, brilliant, knows his Siemens PLC inside out, knows his SCADA inside out. But what he doesn't know is the little differences in your plant. Every machine, every system is slightly different, and with experience, people know how to cope with that. So he makes a change, and that change, not by any deliberate act, can give you a decrease in performance and quality. And again, it's knowing that you've got a safe previous revision to revert back to. Third one, everybody has accidents, whether it be the catastrophic forklift truck running into the cabinet, destroying the panel, destroying the PLC, or more often than not, in my time in automation, I know at least 3 factories that have had leaks through the roof and it's taken the panel out. Brain. So you've got, again, loss of source code in the processor and downtime. I can give you a story about a drinks manufacturer that this autosave really saved them some time in that exact state. Okay, so what now? Our guy comes back from his pleasant lunch and thinks, oh, what's he going to do about it? How do we mitigate this? And if you look at that server, it looks like the one we use for A4SP because it's the same server. Instead of storing your galaxies, it's storing your PLCs, or both. So that server is going to be the repository for your PLC programs, your SCADA backups, everything. We have a second piece of kit there, which is called the agent. Now, the agent does the work on behalf of the server. The agent has a copy of, say, for Step 7, RS Logix 5000, Unity, and that will be requested by the server to do uploads and compares to do the work. So, scenario 1. Our contractor, whether they be remotely connected in or whether they're actually coming on site, has made that change. So what can we do? We can do an upload, we can do a compare, we can show you the differences, and we can analyze them. We can notify you by email, and if you wish, you can keep the copy in there back to our server for analysis later. How does that work? If you look, our agent is sent a copy from the server, we upload the copy from the device, slightly out of line, do the compare, and then the new version goes back to the server. And we can let you know by email we found a difference. Second scenario, our super PLC engineer who doesn't quite understand the plant now has to work through our system. He's gone off screen for some reason there, but believe me, he's still there. He's got long arms. So he's using the client there with his username, password, and login. So he has to log in. Now that login can also be Active Directory if you want to interface it within your own system. So he logs in, and providing his privileges allow, he can now select the program that he's interested in. Makes the change, the same wrong change, but what we do is give you an instant undo. So our guy can come back and say, hang on, the plant's not running correctly. Go and have your own lunch break. Let me have a look, see what the problem is, and then say, okay, I don't like the change you've made. I'm going to go back to the old revision that was running an hour ago, and you're back in the state you want to be. The plant's running correctly. Third one, here's a little bit of salesman's license on this one, because what we say is, you've damaged the system, simply download and repair, or repair and download. It's not always that easy to find the components you need, but you know 100% because we checked it last night that you've got the copy of that software. Drinks manufacturer, I know, they've got process and they've got packaging. One of the main process CPUs went down. They looked back at our schedule compare overnight, knew that the PLC had been checked, knew they had the latest copy of the software, replaced the hardware, downloading it, worked. If the process is down for an hour, the packaging lines start slowing down, then stopping. And their particular lines made $10,000 pure profit every hour. And that's a lot of money to lose just because somebody doesn't have the right copy of the program. Fizzy drinks make a lot of money. Okay, so change that hardware, put new hardware in, and you know you've got the latest copy of the software, download it, and you're up and running in production again. Typical workflow of how we operate. These here, that would be your workstation PC, your laptop, you could be remoted in, whatever. You have Step 7, you have your window maker, whatever, loaded on there, and this is the normal editing station. You've got to log in again, of course. Log in with username and password, get your privileges assigned. This is our client, and I've got the running system outside if anybody wants to look. It doesn't matter whether it's a Siemens PLC, it's a Unity PLC, it's an InTouch project, it's the same user environment. When you click this button, that goes online to a Siemens PLC, or in this case a Unity PLC. There's a very small training and learning curve on this particular software. So, this is our target PLC. Providing privileges allow, we're going to send the latest copy. and then we're going to launch the software from that latest copy. No local copies are stored there, they're all in the server, so nobody can make their own special copies for working on Christmas morning or whatever. They have to use our system. Launch the software environment. Again, this is important. This is the standard software that the end user is always using. There's no difference. We're not putting any special features in there. We're using the standard software, so there's no learning curve. They're making changes. As soon as they finish making changes, ask them to make a comment. They have to put at least one character in. My experience is they put a lot of information in because it could be them making the changes next time, and they like to see the history. The new copy goes back to the server, the old one goes to an ancestor. You never lose anything. Pharmaceutical industries want to keep it pretty much forever. General manufacturing, 6 months to a year, or keep special copies on for special revisions. So you never lose anything unless you want to. We can send an email on every change, but we don't usually advise that. It's only in special terms. Now, the schedule compare, which is what I mentioned before, checks overnight or every week, however many times you want to do it. This is where the agent is going to be told to wake up by the server. It's going to be given a copy of the software that we think is in the device, and then we're going to upload the software from the device, do the comparison in the agent, and send back the result to the server. And send you every morning, or however many times you do it, you're going to get a report in your inbox that's going to say, every one of your automation devices has the software running in it that we think it has in the server, which is a nice feeling. You're in control. You know that everything's in control. Just a snippet of things we can do, because the major manufacturers of devices, Wonderware, Siemens, Rockwell, Schneider, we can, on top of controlling the software, we can give you a nice feature like intelligent comparisons. So we can show you, if there's a lit hyperlink there, we can show you exactly what the changes are. And this includes graphics. So side by side, we can show you the changes that have been made in the graphics between versions. This is from InTouch 10.1 and above. Below that, we can't quite show you that detail. Again, it depends what's been exposed on the API. Okay, add-on modules. Reports module. This allows us to mine the SQL database, so it's like KPI reporting, so I can find out how many times I've made a change on a particular, on line 1, PLC 1, between April 2012 and May 2012. It's that detailed. If the information's in SQL, we can get it out. Second item there, this is for your pharmaceutical industry. They've got audit trails. They need to electronic signatures to 21 CFR 11, and they need that audit trail that's verified. It can't be changed. Workflows so that you can have more than one sign-off on a change. PC backup. I say this, we've actually just withdrawn that module because there's so many image backup systems. The reason why we did it from day one, 15 years ago when I started, I used to go to customers and said, oh, can you put PC images on your system? Well, yes, we can, but it's quite a cumbersome system. They're big, but people wanted those PC images. So we originally automated Acronis, and we're no longer going to do that because Acronis on its own is automated. You can do that yourself. Biggest development in the last couple of years for autosave has been the inclusion of non-network devices. We were getting inquiries from water companies, energy companies, and SIs where they've got distributed assets. They want to be able to take copies of programs from a central server and go out in the field, and that field is not on a network. So they want to be able to control their software, but in a non-network environment. So, same server again. Our guy logs into the server. Now, he could be logged in, of course, over his VPN. He could be sat at home, or he could be sat in a hotel just about to go out to site. He logs into the server. He wants to identify the program he wants. So this is generally with a disconnected environment, got multiple programs because you're working on site with an HMI, a SCADA, several PLCs, maybe, or just one. So he identifies the programs he wants, checks them out, updates his copies, and he gets multiples onto his laptop. Now, next slide, we're going to show you the extremes of where you can go. It might be a pipeline in Siberia. It might be an oil rig. But it also might be the effluent plant, which isn't on the network yet. So we connect to them via the front port and does his work as normal through a client within autosave. So when he's finished, comes back, not necessarily right to the office. He can be connected through a WAN, connecting through the internet on a secure VPN. First thing he's going to do, because in Australia we've got an application with Water Corp, and that's I think 14,000 devices. Now, if you're out in the outback in Australia, you may be out for a couple of weeks and then come back. But it's possible that somebody else could have wanted to make a change to the same program, because you've got a lot of possibilities there. So what you do is you first ask it to analyze, click on the analyze, and you'll see differences. So these are differences by me out in the field, these are differences by others. If there's a conflict, we can resolve that conflict. We don't merge programs. That's a question that always gets asked. Oh, can you merge the programs? No, we can't. It's the same method of merging programs you always do. So we now sync it, and it's a bidirectional sync, so everybody, including the server, has the same copies. Same for this demonstration. I've got a live system outside. If you want a demonstration via WebEx, contact your Wonderware sales guy. If you want a demonstration on site, again, go through your Wonderware sales guy. They will be talking to us about this specifically, and we can do something. So that's your autosave for PLC devices. That's your autosave for system platform. The whole system makes a very efficient change management package. Any questions on any of the subjects?
Well, if there are any questions, feel free to come over to the booth and they'll explain in detail what is possible. Andy, thank you very much, and my sincere apologies for messing up your animations. Must have been me, for sure. So